5 things you missed in Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 2. You heard that right, Arsenal Football Club are on their way to Wembley. That is of course after Arsenal beat Sheffield United away at Bramall Lane in the FA Cup quarter-finals, meaning that Arsenal now advance to Wembley to verse Manchester City. It's only been 2 weeks since the last time we played them. I mean, can you just give us a break already, lads? But of course Arsenal did beat Sheffield United 2-1 with a 91st minute winner from Mr. Dani Ceballos. But of course, as always with Arsenal, there is a lot of things to talk about, with Arsenal starting in a completely different formation, to Ainsley Maitland Niles returning to the Arsenal lineup, to once again Nketiah Guendouzi being left out of the Arsenal lineup as well. Despite Arsenal winning and every Arsenal fan being happy, there are still a lot of questions to be answered and a lot of things to talk about. With that being said, guys, let's get into today's video and let's discuss 5 things that you guys missed in Sheffield United 1, the Arsenal 2. Wembley, we're on our way, lads. Lads, I want to ask you a question right now and let me know your thoughts in the comments, but do you know exactly where we're going to be in a month's time? I'm thinking, oh yeah, Wembley! Wembley! Your boy's gassed, I'm happy. Look, smiles. We're smiles today, lads. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bassel and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, lads, we are back again to discuss the mighty Arsenal, and I can say mighty Arsenal because we got 2 wins on the bounce as we progress to the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Of course, Arsenal Football Club did beat Sheffield United at Bramall Lane 2-1 with a 91st minute winner from Mr. Dani Ceballos, sending all Arsenal fans, including myself, into absolute pandemonium, because despite Arsenal Football Club being mid-table in the Premier League, it's hard for us already. We're still going to Wembley because we're the famous Arsenal and we're going to Wembley. But with that being said, guys, before we get into the video itself, make sure to go down there and smash a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. Also, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the game itself, on things that you missed and things that you learned, and also your thoughts on Arsenal's game against Man City in the semi-finals of the FA Cup. Also, make sure to follow all my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, and also subscribe to my group channel, The Offsiders. The links are all in the description. But with that being said, guys, let's get into this video. And with that being said, guys, let's discuss Sheffield United 1 and Arsenal 2 as we discuss Arsenal returning to the home of homes, aka Wembley. Wembley, we're coming for you. I don't know if you already know that, but Arsenal are going to Wembley. Let's be talking. Right, the first thing that you guys might have missed is Ainsley Maitland Niles returning as a right back. Well, to be honest, most of you guys already knew that, but what you guys might have not known exactly how good Ainsley Maitland Niles was in that right back role. Of course, Mikel Arteta finally decided to bring back Ainsley Maitland Niles into the starting lineup as a right back. Now, of course, in terms of Ainsley Maitland Niles and him being a right back, it is a bit dodgy, and that is obviously because Ainsley Maitland Niles is a player. He's made it clear numerous amount of times to Mikel Arteta as well that he doesn't really want to play there. He wants to be more of a midfielder. He thinks he's a bit of Steven Gerrard, but I think you need to calm down, Ainsley. But of course, with Arsenal's first team right back in Hector Bellerin being an absolute shambolic form, I think Arteta was given no choices but to finally bring in Ainsley Maitland Niles, who, even though he doesn't want to play in that position, he played a far better game than Hector Bellerin has so far during the turn. Not only was he solid defensively, composed on the ball, but also most importantly, lads, what I want to point out is his link-up play with Nicolas Pepe. I think so far with Hector Bellerin returning to the Arsenal lineup, one thing that we've seen is Nicolas Pepe for some reason has struggled quite a bit, and I think what has become clear after a while watching Bellerin and Pepe play together is that there's simply zero link-up play there. Bellerin simply does not have the abilities or the facilities to go link up with Pepe, play some 1-2s, and most importantly, get him the ball in dangerous positions. Whereas with Ainsley Maitland Niles, with him being a hybrid midfielder and right back, it's almost the perfect thing for Mikel Arteta, because of course the way Arteta likes to play his fullbacks is as an inverted midfielder, and in many ways that really does suit Ainsley Maitland Niles as a player, which for me personally puts me in a massive dilemma. On one hand, you have a player who Ainsley Maitland Niles who you probably should be looking to sell because his attitude simply isn't there, but on the other hand, you have to understand, as a right back in the Arteta system, he's almost the perfect type of player. That player who has the ability to play as an inverted fullback to a far, and I mean a far better standard than Hector Bellerin, because not only was Ainsley Maitland Niles better as a right back than Bellerin, he also helped Nicolas Pepe have one of his best games so far since the return to the Premier League as well. And the question really is to you guys as well, do you think Ainsley Maitland Niles can be the future And I said the future Arsenal right back. And where exactly does that leave Mr. Hector Bellerin, Mr. Earth himself and his trees? But yeah lads, is this the start of a new Ainsley Maitland Niles remontada? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Moving on to the second thing that you may have missed, and that is Nketiah Guendouzi missing from the Arsenal squad once again. Ali Mateo, where are you? That is right, Mikel Arteta once again not only didn't choose Guendouzi in the Arsenal starting lineup, but he once again left him out of the entire Arsenal squad. And of course, course, you could say maybe he was injured or he's ill or whatever, but I think it's clear to see that is not the case, because in terms of another player that was missing in Mesut Ozil, the club came out and announced before the game Mesut Ozil was not in the squad due to a back injury, which again, I can't lie, is a bit dodgy, but regardless to say that the club still came out and announced to the world, this is why Mesut Ozil is not in the Arsenal squad. But in terms of Matteo Guendouzi, there are simply no answers. There's no announcement from Arsenal, there's no Twitter tweet, there's no Instagram post, there's no press conference from Arteta, there's no reply from Arteta. Nobody knows what's going on with Matteo Guendouzi. And to be fair to you guys, there are quite a few conspiracy theories to where exactly Matteo Guendouzi is. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I got a call from my guy Nasser, and he was telling me right now Guendouzi is tracking down Nicolas Pepe as he attempts to give him a drop kick. And in that case, Matteo, it's all yours, bro. But yeah, lads, all jokes aside, I think it's clear to see with Matteo Guendouzi, there's 110% something going on there, and it's not something good whatsoever. Because for Arteta not only to drop him for one matchday squad, but for 2 matchday squads, tells me there's something not right at the moment. And so for me, with his contract running out in 2 years' time, the longer he gets left out of the Arsenal squad, the lower his value goes, and the more likely Arsenal are to sell him. Which for me is absolutely insane, but again, I'm not the guy who runs Arsenal Football Club. Unfortunately, that is Arteta, Ralston Leahy, and Mr. Stanislav Kroenke. And if you are watching this video, Stan Kroenke, go out there and spend some money, bro. And so I'm going to ask you guys, does this mean this is the end of Matteo Guendouzi's Arsenal career? Which is absolutely insane, but it is most likely possible. And if he is to leave the Arsenal, what are your thoughts on it? Do you care about it? Do you not care about it? Are you against it? Are you for it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Ale Matteo, I don't know what's going on, bro. I need some answers. Moving on to the third thing that you might have missed, and that is Sead Kolasinac starting as a centre-back. That is right, lads. Man like Sead Kolasinac, okay, I'm never going to do this ever again. He was back into the starting lineup for the Arsenal, and starting most importantly, lads, as a centre-back. That is right, lads. Mikel Arteta today opted for a back three formation with a back three of Mustafi, David Luiz, and man like Sead Kolasinac. And to see him start as a centre-back with me is a very key thing. I reckon the way Arteta wants Arsenal to play right now, we need to have a left-footed centre-back who is comfortable on that ball. Now, of course, you can't just drop in Sead Kolasinac into a back four because he's not a proper centre-back and he's going to struggle in that role. So I think today, as much as he was trying the formation out, I think what he's doing is he's slowly trying to ease Kolasinac into that centre-back role. Because right now, in terms of our left-footed centre-backs, the only one we have, Pablo Mari, is out until the end of the season. And so my personal thoughts on this is I think Arteta is slowly trying to mould Sead Kolasinac from a left-back to a left centre-back. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be any good there, but in terms of today's performance, he was pretty promising. He looked very solid and overall like a tank like he normally is. Oh, and he also won a game without getting injured, so hallelujah, lads, miracles do happen. And also by starting back three, what it also enabled is man like David Luiz to play in, for me, his best role as a player. Because for me, in terms of David Luiz, to get the best out of him as a centre-back, you have to partner him with 2 more centre-backs. Because defensively, the man is simply too unreliable, bro. But in terms of David Luiz and his best ever seen in the Premier League, for me, it was on a back three for Antonio Conte's Chelsea, and the year they won a league title as well. So for me today, not only was Arteta testing out Sead Kolasinac as the left centre-back, but I also think he was testing out David Luiz and for what I think is his best formation and suits him best. So again, lads, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of Kolasinac playing as a left centre-back, and what do you think of David Luiz coming back to the Arsenal into a back three? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Moving on to the fourth thing, lads, and that is Nicolas Pepe is not a flop. You hear that, Man United fans? You hear that, Chelsea fans? You hear that? Oh, who cares about Tottenham? Nicolas Pepe is not a flop, bro. And to anyone that is that stupid to still think he's a flop, hear this out, bro. In his first ever season in England, coming from a completely different league, different environment, coming to the hardest league in the world in terms of the Premier League, it was always going to be a hard adaptation period for Nicolas Pepe, especially once you add the added pressure from his price tag as well. And not only did he have to go through that, but he also had to go through playing under 3 different managers. We're talking Unai Emery, we're talking Freddie Ljungberg, and we're talking Mikel Arteta. That adaptation period that was already hard became that much harder. And so with all of this and him being a apparent flop, the man is still quietly, silently dropped to 16 goals and assists this season. And if that's meant to be a flop, then boy, I cannot wait to see the full version of Nicolas Pepe. Now, of course, Pepe scored a penalty yesterday, which isn't a massive thing about it, but for me, it's the way he took the penalty, the confidence, the way he smashed it in the corner, the fact that Dean Henderson went the right way and you still could not get close to it. And for me, in terms of Nicolas Pepe, I'll make it clear to you guys right now, I think we have, in NBA terms, a franchise player. In Nicolas Pepe, let's get straight, we have an absolute cold ice baller. And we're not talking Anthony Martial here. We're talking a guy who can sniff danger, who can provide you with the moments, who for me can be Arsenal's main guy. And in many ways, I know this is a massive comparison to make, but the way he's so cold and so clinical and so ruthless reminds me a bit of Thierry Henry. Now, I'm not saying he's anywhere near the player Thierry Henry is, but in terms of the mentality and the way he plays and how ruthless and the look in his eyes, it reminds me of a certain French striker called Thierry Henry. And if I am Arsenal right now, what I'm trying my best is to build my team around Nicolas Pepe, because he for me is a star man, he's the go-to, he's a franchise player, and he is an absolute baller. Presidents FC is coming to full effect, 16 goals and assists in his flop season. You hate to see it, or you love to see it, because I love to see it, bro. Moving on to the fifth and final thing, and that is Eddie Nketiah getting bigged up by Mikel Arteta. That is right, man like Eddie is once again praised by Mikel Arteta, because that is of course despite Mikel Arteta choosing to leave Eddie Nketiah on the bench today. Come the 60th minute when Alexander Lacazette starting to struggle, come the 60th minute Arteta chose to take off Lacazette and bring on Eddie Nketiah. And of course we all know about the impact Nketiah had in the game. Not only was his overall game in terms of his passing, his ability to hold the ball up and overall play was very good, but he also played a massive part in the Arsenal winning goal. And so of course with him having such impact after only coming in 30 minutes, Arteta in his post-match interview lauded the praises for him. And quote unquote, he said, "You can see the way they played today, and Eddie as well. The way he came on, the way he fights with everybody, he doesn't care. I really like that." And I can't lie to you guys now, I'm starting to now believe that Arteta sees Eddie Nketiah as the Arsenal first team striker. Because let's get it straight, since coming into the Arsenal back in January after a failed loan move at Leeds United, Nketiah has started more games than Alexander Lacazette. £50 million striker, failed Leeds United loanee. And so what that means for me is Arteta is slowly and surely trying to shift out man like Alexander Lacazette from the Arsenal team. And I would not be surprised one bit if come this summer, Arsenal choose to move on Alexander Lacazette. And so that once again poses a massive question. If Arsenal do choose to move on Alexander Lacazette, what happens to Eddie Nketiah? Is he then become a first team striker? Is he good enough for that? Or do Arsenal go out there and sign another striker, another baller, another player? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, because right now I am not even sure. But yeah, in terms of Eddie Nketiah, bro, keep up the good work, keep doing your thing, and also in training, teach Lacazette how to score goals in away games. Because big man, I don't think he has the facilities for that. But with that being said, guys, I am going to end the video there. Of course, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure to go down there and smash a like on it, and also do subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on the game itself, on the things you learned, on the things you missed, and also your thoughts going into Arsenal's next game against Manchester City in the FA Cup semi-final. Make sure to also follow all my social media, my Instagram, my Twitter, and also subscribe to my group channel, The Offsiders. Links are in the description, boys. But with that being said, guys, let's end the video there and there. In today's video, lads, we have discussed Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 2, as of course Arsenal progressed into the FA Cup finals, and Wembley, get ready, because the famous Arsenal are coming to Wembley. With that being said, guys, I'll see you next time in a bit.